our middle school. Of our 5 middle school teachers, we have 2 in their second year and 3 in their first year. So really looking to support them as a team and build that culture for that safe and orderly environment, and ensure consistency across those 5 teachers to support our students. And with our first CFAs, we've really had some exciting data in middle school. So those teachers are really working hard to ensure they're supporting each other and staying on that same page. And then the last area that we're really targeting at Loma Linda is looking at how are we supporting our students that should be in the exceeding category but might not be. So what are our teachers doing to push those students, and as Eric said, really giving that professional development for facilitating student-led learning so that these students are getting challenged, and hopefully we will see that data as we move into our benchmarks and ultimately aims with seeing more students in the exceeding category.
At Gateway, we had some really bright spots, but we had some really low spots this past year in our data. This year we are continuing to focus on all of the instruction, as some of my colleagues have talked about, in both the reteach and enrich, but also in initial instruction. My 5th grade, I've got 4 teachers, and 3 of them, this is their first year of ever teaching. So as Dr. DeMar was just saying, really trying to support them. With the action plan that Gateway has put forth, the areas that we're going to work on, we'll continue to work on instruction, and that does include the reteach and enrich, but really supporting our 5th grade teachers and students. Looking at their data, it's not strong in either reading or math. Excuse me. And so we have put together a plan that's pretty comprehensive that includes a student support plan by our SAT and our instructional coach and our Title I facilitator, in addition to what we're doing as a leadership team to help make sure that these 5th graders are where they need to be by the end of the year. We're also focusing on junior high math, which was another area of concern for us last year. I'm very excited about the teacher that we have teaching 7th and 8th grade math, seasoned teacher who has a strong track record and is already making some nice growth with the students and doing a lot of plugging in of holes for those students with some of, excuse me, with things as basic as their fluency, working on helping them to understand math at a conceptual level. One of the bright spots for Gateway last year was in 3rd grade, especially in math. And we are blessed to have Steve Wolf on our campus, who is a math coach, excuse me, for many years in Madison School District. And so he started last year working with our 3rd grade students and really actually working with the teachers and helping them to teach kids number sense. And the data really showed how important that was. And so that is part of our action plan is Steve working with teachers to help them implement the balanced math, making sure the teachers understand it at a conceptual level. And then of course we are continuing to work on our attendance. Matter of fact, I went and got a student from his bed this morning because he's already missed several days of school. So we're really focused on that and trying to make sure that the kids are at school every day, but also trying to make sure that their parents know how important it is that they're there. The final thing that we're doing is all of the kids, even in the primary grades with our high frequency words, are tracking how they're doing. So our junior high kids are tracking their CFAs, they're tracking their math fluency, down to the 2nd graders who are tracking their high frequency words, trying to help the students take more and more ownership of what they're doing.
First, Rosemary and Chris did an outstanding job last year with all the data that I see here when it comes to what they accomplished over at my new school at Creighton. If the data goes down, it's not my fault, okay? I'm learning. At our site, we have a new AP, we have a new SAT, we have a new TIF, and the only returning person is the coach. So we have pretty big learning curve when it comes to some of the things we're doing. But we have outstanding people there that will continue. We didn't have a large turnover of teachers, and it shows because the data reflects what they have accomplished throughout the years. As I look at math, I can see that in 3rd grade, we met the AMO. In 4th grade, we met the AMO. In 5th grade, we met the AMO. In 6th grade, that's one of our target areas for this year. In 7th grade, this is math, we didn't meet the AMO. In 8th grade, we didn't meet the AMO. But the scores are still very high in comparison to when you saw some of the other districts, other areas. In reading, Creighton really excelled last year in reading. We met the AMO in 3rd grade. I'm sorry, we did not meet the AMO in 3rd grade. In 4th grade, we met the AMO. In 5th grade, they just did an outstanding job. We exceeded the AMO. In 6th grade, we exceeded. In 7th grade, exceeded. And in 8th grade, exceeded. They did just a tremendous job last year there at Creighton. Rosemary and Chris did an outstanding job getting the teachers focused and ensuring that the instructional strategies that are being used are consistent and are working there at Creighton. As I sat down with the leadership there at Creighton and we looked at this data, and along with Cabinet and WestEd, our areas of focus for this year will be 3rd grade, train of thought now. 3rd grade, 6th grade math, and 2nd grade will be a focus also, even though they don't take the AIMS, they take the SAT 10. That is one area where our 2nd graders going into 3rd grade are struggling, so we need to focus and have an action plan for that grade level. Our plan is to have an action plan for each grade level when it comes to the CFAs, it comes to the benchmarks. They're aligned, so as long as we focus on the CFAs and benchmarks on a quarterly basis on an action plan, we're hoping to see that those areas that need attention, those grade levels that need assistance, we will go ahead and continue to focus our resources on those grade levels as we analyze the data from the CFAs and benchmarks. Our WestEd coach will be assisting with professional development when it comes to learning math conceptually. Our LAPD coach will be providing professional development on enrichment and also math fluency. For the ISTEEP and RTI, when I look at that data also, when I look at the data from there, this is from March. As you can see, the green means that they're Tier 1, and yellow Tier 2, and Tier 3. We have very small numbers at our school of students that are needing intense instruction in reading. One of the plans of what the district is going 1 week of, when it comes to reteach and enrich, is reading and 1 week of math. So that currently we are doing that at Creighton with our instructional coach. The role of the CT4S, when I did look at the data from our sweeps recently, and I compared it to our 4th quarter data from last year, there is some additional help that needs to be given there. Our WestEd coach this year for the CT4S is Angie Julian, and she'll be providing professional development under student-led learning and also in the behavior part of the elements of the CT4S. One of the things that we want to do with each grade level is identify also those students that are close to, from going from approaching to meet on AIMS, and then from meets to exceed, rather than just look at overall the the different grade levels, we want to go ahead and identify from each class those students that a percentage, and we're thinking 50% of who are approaching, looking at those approaching students and identifying with individual learner plans, how we can go ahead and move them from approaching to meet, or from meet to exceeds. So it's not going to be, we don't, I've learned already that we don't want to overtask our teachers, because that's adding more when it comes to, they only have so much during the day to get these things accomplished. And I've learned already that sometimes I ask for more than I should, okay? And that's a new learning experience for me in this position. But I know that having those high expectations, they will meet those high expectations. But our goal is to actually identify by name, just like Sean said, looking at those students that are from approaching, that can get to meets, and from meets to exceeds. That's our plan for our professional development that we'll be having tomorrow. We'll identify from their class list based on the data, and they're going to write individual grade level classroom action plans to go ahead and focus on their instruction for each quarter. On the behavior, with behavior, it's going to be a new learning experience for our AP, but he's doing a great job. He is Mr. Carvajal, Yvonne Carvajal. He's pulled from everywhere because he's been there so long. He has 10 plus years there. Last year he was doing the TIF, he was doing the SAT. He was doing pretty much everything. So now people, we have so many new people that, Mr. Carvajal, what did you do here last year with this area? The TIF, Mr. Carvajal, I need you to come over here and help me with this kid. So he's being pulled everywhere, but at the same time, he's such a good person that he's able, because he's so knowledgeable, he's able to provide the information right away and continue on with the task that he's responsible for. But again, at this point, it's still the honeymoon period. We haven't had many behavior issues there at Creighton. But I know that as we continue throughout the year that, I hope not, but I know that he'll continue to have some behaviors that he'll have to address immediately, and he won't be able to be pulled so much. And I'm slowly getting him away from him being the focal point and getting the help from district experts.
At Spelke, it was, we have a lot to celebrate. We had, when we looked at our overall school-wide data, we had every grade level, with the exception of 4th grade, above the EMO in reading and in math. What made it work was that we had targeted action plans, very specific targeted action plans after each benchmark, where the teachers would implement specific strategies to ensure that the kids met their goals. We also looked at our 80, we had a lot of students, consistently students were getting 80% or more on their CFAs, and so we had to really look at what do we do to push our kids even further to make sure that we provided that enrichment for them. And so that challenged our teachers to really look at that process and what enrichment really looks like. We also had identified students that we could move from each of the categories as well. We focused on initial instruction to ensure that we were providing rigorous instruction the first time around, so that we had less kids in the reteach section when they took their